Welcome, everybody, to today's workbook discussion on Zoom. Welcome also to all who join us at a later time by watching the recording. You are also part of this beautiful family. My name is Manu, and I'm a volunteer with the Foundation for Inner Peace. The foundation, as you may know, is the publisher of the scribe authorized version of A Course in Miracles. If you'd like to learn more about A Course in Miracles, please visit acim.org. And on top of that page, if you so feel inspired to make a love offering, you will find the word donate. All donations support the work of the Foundation for Inner Peace. Each session, we will be delving into a discussion of workbook lessons that are a part of this course, led by a moderator team of volunteers for the Foundation. What does discussion mean? In our gatherings, here we welcome the Holy Spirit to join us, and we also ask the Holy Spirit to inspire us as we speak any words. Through the Holy Spirit's presence, our meeting become a joining of equals. We are all brothers and sisters. To commune with the Holy Spirit's guidance, to experience miracles together. That's our objective, and that's what we call and pray for. So now, before we begin today's session, we will take a moment together to quiet and center our minds. And I'm going to utter some of the beautiful words that I save to my phone, which will lead us into this quietness. So let's begin. We may close our eyes. And this short selection is from the 23rd chapter of the text. Nothing around you but is part of you. Look on it lovingly and see the light of heaven in it. So will you come to understand all that is given you. In kind forgiveness will the world sparkle and shine, and everything you once thought sinful now will be reinterpreted as part of heaven. Let's continue to center ourselves. Breathe in a little bit more deeply than normal. And repeat some of this deeper breathing as we settle in a little bit more comfortably and firmly into wherever we happen to place our body. What we've been discussing recently is lesson 68, which has this beautiful title, Love Holds No Grievances. And we've gone through the first few paragraphs. And the selection I read to us is very pertinent to this next paragraph and to this lesson. So why don't we jump right in? I'm going to share with us this particular paragraph, and then from there we will start having a discussion and do some more reading as appropriate. So paragraph 5. Begin today's extended practice period by searching your mind for those against whom you hold what you regard as major grievances. Some of these will be quite easy to find. Then think of the seemingly minor grievances you hold against those you like and even think you love. It will quickly become apparent that there is no one against whom you do not cherish grievances of some sort. This has left you alone in all the universe in your perception of yourself. So let's pause there and then come back here. I'll repeat that last sentence from that paragraph. And maybe what I'll do is summarize the paragraph itself. So what the paragraph is saying that we, no matter who it is, even the folks in front of us right now, through Zoom, we hold major and minor grievances against them. You know, when I read this paragraph many times before, I thought about everything big and small. Like, for example, if I didn't like someone's hair, or if I thought their skin looked different or noteworthy, or if I thought they, didn't have enough hair on the top of their head, I would notice that, and that would be a minor grievance, even though I might tell myself that, oh, it's okay. So that's the beauty of this course. That's the beauty of when it says, there are no levels to how we perceive things. And that's why it focuses here on the fact that there could be minor or major grievances. And so this judgment, this distinction is what is causing us to be left alone. So it says, this has left you alone in all the universe in your perception of yourself. Other thoughts on this amazing exposition? Yes, Elysian, please go ahead and let me know if I'm butchering your name.
No, the name is fine. So, regarding grievances, I believe that the course tries for us to understand that there is only one true grievance, and that is not noticing that you're still in heaven, that you haven't left heaven, and that's the only true grievance out of which that you don't notice. Then you can judge others, so there is like only this true grievance, I believe.
Yes, thank you. Megan, go ahead, please.
Bill's got his hand lifted, but since it's dark, it's not easy to see. So Bill was before me.
Oh, yes.
Thanks,
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it is dark. And thank you. Go for it, Bill.
So busy, honestly. Just love these meetings. This is the highlight of my week, this one right here. So happy to be here. Sorry I was a little bit late, but I'm glad I caught the end of the meditation. Yes, the grievance. Oh, Elysian, thank you. You put it exactly into words what I was figured out, what my major grievance is, because I was thinking before, it's like, holy wow, I'm freaking near perfect. I don't even have any grievances. I can't think of a grievance that I would have or hold against anybody. And then, okay, so the Holy Spirit just recently showed me, or the Spirit, or I guess it's the Holy Spirit. It has to be, because it's showing me. I know the Holy Spirit can't talk to me in words, and nothing was talking to me in words except my own mind. And it was describing the grievance that I just had when I was sitting in the bar and I was talking to two men, and one was a Amazon. He was 7 foot tall something, and he just couldn't believe that I didn't even really notice the skin that he was in. He just had a hard time accepting that I wasn't respecting the unbelievable, like being surprised about the unbelievable size he was. So he had an issue there, and but I still, their eyes were glowing. We were talking, we were having good conversation. I was listening to them talk about 1971 and 78 cars, and I know all about that. And I was just right in the conversation. The eyes were glowing, and I was thinking that, I felt, well, let's just say, the one guy said something to me. He said, can you take off your glasses? And I took off my glasses, and he goes, doesn't that feel better? The big guy, he's talking. And I go, my brother, I can't explain to you that the skin that I'm in, or that you're in, or the clothes or the hair that's on that skin, it really, honestly, like I'm trying to explain to him. I felt like they knew that I was something like this. But when he told me to take off the glasses, and then I automatically took off my hat to or my undercover, he just thought, oh, isn't that nice? Doesn't that feel better, Bill? And I go, like, oh my God, no, it has nothing to do with that. I'm like, I'm wearing the glasses. I love the yellow. I love how things look from my perspective. And I know it doesn't matter about the skin that I'm in. I'm not trying to hide up my scars or my lack of head on my hair, even though when I was growing up, I also, when I seen a man without hair on his head, and I just, like, if he took off his hat and he had no hair on his head, I felt shock right into my belly. Okay, I remember feeling that. I don't know why that was, if well, that was judging, but that was just how it felt when that happened. So I understand that. And Lysian, you named it. It's like, because my grievance with them is, oh my God, they can't see where I am. They can't see who I am. They can't. They have no idea. Like, I was hoping that they were getting my love, but they're not. They're just thinking that's a happy guy. You know, the grievance was that they're not getting who I am. That was a huge grievance. Oh my God, how could they not know who I am? Like, I can see how they could not know, because all they can hear is what goes off my tongue. They don't hear the internal mind of this being. If they could, then, you know, and I think they should, I feel like they know, but they don't. They're cut off. My grievance is this. You're right, Elysian. That's it. That's my grievance. And I get comes down to that, because I'm thinking from a point of heaven. That's how I think it is, should be. And they're not there, right? So thank you. That is the grievance. I don't know where you got that from. Is that course-based, or where did you find that one? Because that is very cool.
Elysian, you want to respond? I think it was probably more of a general statement.
Yeah, I think I could
I just was asking you, where did you get it from? Where did you get it from? Where did that come from? Okay, I want to know.
So,
I don't remember it being course-based.
Well, it's not like I've studied the course like through and through, you know.
I know.
Basically, the course only shows what is real. Like in the first pages, it says nothing that's real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So basically, it's the shortcut to everything. So you can let go of everything, and only the truth remains. And the truth is alive. It's like liquid love. Love, light, is wisdom, you know. So, and now regarding you trying to like show your love to that other guy, so my reflection on that would be that love cannot be threatened. So even if you seemingly as if fail to show love or receive love, the love that you are hasn't been impacted, and it uses every experience as useful. So both light and shadow is useful for the consciousness of God to evolve, for that love to reveal itself. Since love is revealed, basically, you don't need to do much about it. You can just open up to it, reveal it. It cannot be threatened, you know. So
Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
everything you do, even if it's seemingly wrong, like if you as if make mistakes, in God's eyes, you haven't made any mistakes. He hasn't changed his mind about you. You're still
right. I know. Thank you so much. That is perfect. But I'm just wondering, my brother, where did the thought process or that statement come from, where it said that the major grievance of the mankind is not being
I've just synthesized it myself since
profit.
knowing.
These
Yeah, if you find that, please share that. And I would posit to say, Bill, that maybe, it was just an inspiration from the Holy Spirit based on what we already know about the course or deeply understand.
profit in front of our eyes.
Yes, yes. All right, let's go to Megan and then Johanna.
Hi, so Bill, I appreciate you're talking about your encounter with the two gentlemen or whatever it was. But I also was thinking that the course says when somebody asks you to do something, do it because it doesn't matter. And so they seem to want to see you for something that they weren't seeing. So asking you to remove things was their way of showing love, I guess. And your way of doing it was by accepting, I will take these off. These are not me, but neither are putting them back on me either. I am in here, but also it's a nice exchange of how to say I am loving you and learning by your example, and you are loving me and learning me by my example. And so it was a loving exchange. However it went through, it seemed to be very loving. So I think in the same way Elysian was supporting you in and also expounding on how there was no lack of love, but there is on this earthly plane a deep desire for understanding. I want to feel understood and accepted, and sometimes I project out that I don't accept myself. That's the grievance I hold. The one thing I cherish is the grievance I hold against myself not being exactly who I think I should be. And so then when I approach people, I don't actually show who I am because I am exactly as other people. So I hope that helps, and that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Johanna?
Yeah, thank you, Megan. That's so touching, really. What I wanted to go back to what Elysian was saying and Bill was asking. The Course does actually say there's only one problem and there's only one answer. The one problem is the belief in separation, and the one answer is the atonement, to give that up. And in the ego world, we seem to have a zillion different causes of being distressed. We seem to have countless problems and countless grievances, but there's always only one. And that is the problem or the grievance or whatever you want to call it, that we think we've separated. And I think that's what Elysian was referring to. And so all these little grievances, like they're not loving me enough, or what Megan was saying, they won't accept me, or whatever it is, they're not looking the way I want the people in the cafe to look, or they're not looking at me the way I want them to look at me. All these different things are all expressions of the one problem that there really is, and that is that we believe we've separated from God and we're separate. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Johanna. And I would then ask, because what ended up happening at the end was that the one gentleman decided that he was going to judge me on something that I said and wasn't going to give me, there was no way that I could give some kind of explanation, like he wasn't going to listen to me anymore. So that's when I was very surprised that this happened, because I thought that we were just like carrying on with each other. And then all of a sudden he stopped me at something, whatever I just said, and I can't remember what it was, but I did not get a chance. He wouldn't even listen to me to have a rebuttal or to explain, which I always can explain what I just said if it quirked someone's head. If I'm talking to someone and I see that they got quirked, I can always go back and say, okay, you misunderstood it. You understood it this way. This is what you thought. I can go back and I can do that if I have the opportunity. But I did not have the respect, because we're with regular white hicks and we don't need to have respect for the gentlemen that we're speaking with. And so I wasn't able to talk to him any further. And that hurt kind of like, but it was at the very end of the night, but it wasn't a problem. I go out, I close the door. It's like if the past is already behind me. I'm really quick with that. So, but while I was there, that's what ended up happening, Johanna. And so I'm wondering where is that issue? That's my grievance, that we're not in the kingdom, but I did what they asked, like I have it, like, why not? I'll do what, like, yes, it's in the book. It's like, do as you're asked, do it, because it doesn't matter. And if you do decide not to do it, then you are giving credit to the fact that you think it matters. Okay, that's why you have to do it. Now, yeah, so I guess I should have looked at it.
Bill, that cycle can be never ending.
Yeah.
So that's why in so many places in the course, we are just directly or indirectly invited to find our center and just find our peace. Like it says, at the end of the day, we just say God is and just stop.
And if I may add to that, that's very true, Manu. And if you're in that place, you offer it up because it's still bothering you. It's something that's in your experience and that you don't have peace with. And we cannot find, the ego mind cannot find peace. So we have to go to that place of peace that Manu spoke of, and then offer the experience up to the Holy Spirit, and offer up to the Holy Spirit how it is affecting us, and then have trust.
Can we hear
that you will
Johanna,
be shown.
or is it just me who can't hear her?
Sorry?
No,
Yeah, I was hearing her.
You cannot hear me? Oh, okay. I get thumbs up. So it's probably okay. But anyway, so we can, the thing is, we always like to do, what do I need to do? How can I do this differently? I'd like to fix this. And that's a cramped position. What we need to do is let go, open your hands and let it go, and ask to be shown. And then at some other time when you're not so focused on that specific issue, the answer will come.
Thank you, Johanna. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you can hear me, but Andrew, go ahead, please.
Thank you. Johanna just answered what I was going to say wasn't actually a question. It's the challenge that we seem to face with grievances. All grievances come from judgment, and yet we can't live in the world without making judgments. It's impossible. So we have to somehow figure out how to keep our ego out of the judgment area. We have to.
Oh, I just put something in chat. I'll try and reconnect and see if that fixes my problem. So Johanna, if you don't mind picking it up in the meantime. I
will, no problem.
Were you not hearing me?
I'm hearing you, Andrew. Manu's having technical problems, but continue what you were saying, please.
Yes, we're with.
Well, that's all. We just have to figure out how to keep our ego out of our
judgment
making and judgments.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all.
Thank you for adding that. Would you like to respond, Bill?
No, I just was saying we were all with you. We're all with each other here.
Thank you. There's two people who have their hands up whom we haven't heard from before. Jerry, would you like to share, please?
Yes, Joanna. Thank you, everybody. Hi, good to be on the.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh, you're muted.
This issue reminds me of the opportunity for a holy instant, which would be the solution via the Holy Spirit to the ego grievance. A holy instant is a joining with somebody not in body, but in mind, right mind, and the Christ. This is the opportunity that I'm so challenged in doing that so often, I'm not in the holy instant. I'm not joining with their Christ mind. I'm all about the level of the world and the body and judgments concerning criteria of nonsense and impermanence and valuelessness. But it's a very interesting discussion, which I'm so happy that you reminded us, Joanna, that the only issue really stems from our tiny mad idea, a decision to separate from God and go out on a trek of a useless journey. Now, this is interesting to me because I just can't imagine it, and I had an opportunity, as many of you may have had, to ask Ken, why did we do this, and how did we end up here? And he would say, "Nice try." That's an ego question, assuming that we are here and that we did successfully separate. So the Course doesn't answer the question that the impossible happened. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry, for adding that. Yeah, of course, the holy instant, that's what happens. The holy instant is the Course's name for the moment that we have accepted the atonement for ourselves, and we've let go of our own take and have asked to be shown. And then the holy instant happens. Ardith, would you like to add?
Just small. Yesterday, I heard something, people were talking about the persistence of the ego again and again and again. And the word disregard came up. And it made a lot of sense to me. When we hear that voice, we know that it's not a voice of love. We know that it's a voice of fear and all sorts of things that are detestable. But instead of fighting against the egoic reaction, disregard, turn your back in essence. And I know it sounds easy, but it's with practice. And they said that over and over again. The more that we practice that, we seem to kind of slip away from judgment and more into discernment. It's not automatic, but if we open ourselves to it and ask for Holy Spirit's help in it, we'll get it. And it does work. I know. I've felt it my own self. And it's not a formula that would appeal to everyone, but it just makes a lot of sense. When you resist, persists. So if you don't resist this egoic attack, but rather disregard, think of yourself just turning your back, and your mental back, of course, and just ask for the Holy Spirit's help. And it's one way. Anyway, it has helped me a lot. So that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, Ardith, essentially that's what the Course suggests as well. So it's, even though it's not, the Course says don't follow a formula necessarily, but that's as close to a formula that we get, is to not judge, meaning disregard or look at something clearly that is upsetting us, and then offer it up, like Johanna said before, to the Holy Spirit. And then the Course also tells us to not try and fix this on our own, right? Which is what we are attempting to do. And then, because then the Holy Spirit will work its magic if we allow that, which is also known as a miracle in many different ways. Susan.
Hi, everybody. So I had this wonderful image of a snow globe. You know, the little globes that are clear with an image, like maybe New York, like an image inside. And Bill, as you were talking, I just felt like the snow globe was doing this, and the snow was flurrying like crazy, Yeah. And I was like, Bill, put it down, put it down. The more you shake it, the more wild your ego gets, right? So the answer is not going to be found in the mind that created the problem. Put it down. Put it down.
Thank you.
That's. I just wanted to share that. Love you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Megan.
I'm sorry,
okay.
raising and lowering my hands, but I thoughts keep coming in and then settling, and then somebody says something and I'm so distracted by how wonderful what they said was. Like, Susan, oh my goodness, yes, snow globe. I often
Yeah.
distract myself with distraction upon distraction upon distraction upon distraction, and then I think, where am I? And I have to remind myself, you are distracting yourself from where you want to be. So what I'd like to add, which keeps coming back to me, is, do you really want to be here? So Bill, in your interaction, did you ever question, is this where I want to be, having this tete-a-tete, head-to-head talk, or do I want to be in joy? And I always think sometimes I need to retract, sit in my own back seat, and just enjoy what I see, that I am, that God is, I am, and to be happy with whatever is happening, rather than trying to impose some sort of happiness on top of what exists. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I copy that, Megan, and I could speak to that. I would say, because of how I am, the dedicated disciple I am exactly everywhere he wants me to be. When I think about going over across the street to go to the bar to sit in my other living room, I am thinking the only reason I'm going out there is because he has me going out there to interact with whoever he interacts. Now, usually it's just all normal interacting, and it's all good because I'm knowing that I'm giving them, just by looking at them and talking to them, I am showing them the forgiveness of God. Okay, so they don't know what it is probably that they're feeling. They probably think I'm so weird, but I don't get that. Like, I get like just awesome communication, and usually it's just all good, and then it perfectly ends and I get to come home and there's nothing that, it's just righteous. Okay, so like I'm doing this for the Creator. I'm not doing it to try to make myself happy. I'm way past that part of serving the ego, where I am now and totally fully serving the Holy Spirit. Okay, I am there. So now,
Thank you.
now we can look at it from there. And what is he trying to show this teacher of God? And I'm learning so much today. Like, it's taken a couple days. This was Saturday night. So yeah, thank you.
Good. Thanks. Thank you, Bill. Susan, I think your hand might be up from the last time you spoke. And
Oopsie. Sorry.
yeah, before we go to Maggie, I'd like to invite others to jump in and, share their thoughts about this discussion, which is essentially, again, about grievances that we have constantly cropping up in our lives, wherever we go. And, how do we deal with that? So when we are ready, we'll also move to the next paragraph, which starts to address that. Maggie?
Yes, thank you, Manu, and everyone who's sharing. And I actually had it in mind to bring us back to that next paragraph. So we'll go right there. I am just listening and I'm really enjoying the communication, and there's so many wonderful things happening between people. And I really appreciate Johanna reminding us all that there is the one problem and one solution, and that it's okay that we seem to see many forms and we think it's more than one problem, right? That's our practice. But that reminder, I think, is worth repeating and repeating and repeating again. So I appreciate it, and I'm repeating it now as well. So I hear a couple people kind of acknowledging what feels like a pretty core grievance, at least definitely in my experience, and I hear others vocalizing it as well. And it's this sense of how others see us, or if we are complete as we are. I heard Megan and Bill both kind of speaking to this, in the sense that there's something not right within us. And I think, this still comes back to the one problem, the one solution, like Johanna is saying, right? The thing that feels not right is that we're separate. We think we're separate. And this does not feel right, because it is, in fact, not. But I think that what I hear both of you acknowledging is something that feels very much like a core ego belief that I know I really work on for myself. And it feels that it ties right back to that next paragraph, like Manu was going to bring us to. So I think one thing that could be just added maybe to all the beautiful things that people have said about their own practices is that when we are interacting with others and we notice that we could have an experience of judging them, right? That's one way to have a grievance. But we can also have this experience of sensing that they are judging us. And this is just yet another grievance. It's really the same thing. We see it as quite different, and we might react to it different emotions, right? I might have anger if I'm judging someone else. I might feel guilt or shame if I'm judging myself. But either way, it is the same thing. And if I sense it is coming from outside of me, this is the one problem again. There's nothing outside of me. So that one problem, one solution keeps applying over and over and over. And it does not mean that we do not go to that bar and interact with other people. Right? We still do that. We go be normal. But maybe what you might let yourself practice is remembering and asking for help, remembering that that is the one problem. And as you sense that, oh gosh, I don't know if they're seeing me as I am or as I want to be seen, that there's no one else out there. And you're really talking about how you see yourself. And separate is the problem. So this next paragraph that Manu is going to return us to, I think really kind of speaks to how everyone we interact with then gives us this opportunity to be looking at ourself and remember that it is a part of ourself, that there is no separation. And I just thought maybe we'd bring ourselves back to the lesson and see how that connects to all the great examples that people are sharing.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you so much. And just before we do that, Sharon would like to speak.
Oh, I just wanted to say that I think and I don't know how this applies at all, but this past weekend, I noticed how wonderful it was to use my body to, my hands specifically, to touch and to extend love through using my body. I didn't realize before then how powerful that was, but I could feel when I would reach out and just touch someone on the shoulder, a stranger that I was talking to, it felt like that, to me, felt like a holy instant because I felt such a joining with them. So I want to say to my ego every time it wants to bring something up that looks like it, that looks like a grievance, I want to say, never mind, that's not what it is, because I feel like that's what it does to me when I say, show me my grievances. My ego goes, you don't have any. It's all right. I know it's not true. Anyway, thank you.
Aaron, one thing with that, getting tired of rubbing it off. Oh, it's not what it seems. It's not what it seems. It's not what it seems. I'm almost getting, well, I'm going to get better, but you know, exactly that. I've been using that. It works and it's continuing to work, but I could see a time in the future that if I'm going to have to keep doing that, then I'm going to get upset. I'm sorry. I'm going to lose patience.
Why are you going to get upset?
I'm going to get upset that I'm going to get upset at always having to go. It's not what it seems. When
oh, but the point, you don't.
Is what it seems.
But you know what? I think the more like someone was saying before, the more we practice it, the more doing the right thing becomes like our default action. It's like we move right into where the Holy Spirit wants us to be. The more we practice it, the easier it is to not even notice any grievances, to just feel wonderful about everything. I mean, that's my goal anyway. I did lower my hand. I'm going to mute myself now.
Okay. And Ardith, what would you like to share in this situation?
I would just like to say Maggie was right to direct us to paragraph 6 because it is about practice and everything that we really need to know. Not everything, but a good sum up is in this paragraph. I'd love to get to it if someone would read it and let us have some minutes with it at least. Thank you.
Okay. So I would like to invite Andrew to read us this 6th paragraph right through the end, where just right through the end, please.
Certainly. Determined now to see all these people as friends. Say to them all, thinking of each one in turn as you do so. I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. Spend the remainder of the practice period trying to think of yourself as completely at peace with everyone and everything, safe in a world that protects you and loves you, and that you love in return. Try to feel safety surrounding you, hovering over you and holding you up. Try to believe, however briefly, that nothing can harm you in any way. At the end of the practice period, tell yourself, love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe.
If that didn't make our hair stand on its end, gosh. Let's just very briefly go through the elements of this paragraph again. So we are asked to see all the people who surround us in a certain manner, all the grievances that we might be noticing in them. Then we are asked to see them as our friend, our brother, so that we may remember that they're really a part of me, us, so that you can come to know who I am, who we are. And then it but just notches it up some more by saying, just think the thought of peace. Just think the thought of being safe and protected. And even if you are not there, just attempt to be there, however briefly, knowing that nothing can harm me or us. And that's the trick. Ardith, you said it's the summary of everything, but you weren't quite sure. Actually, it is. This, as in many other places, the course is totally summarized in this paragraph. It's so beautiful. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. Because at the end of the day, when we feel separate, we are just afraid. And that's why we do what we end up doing. Did you want to say something? Yeah, Ardith, go for it, please.
I was just going to say, I love everything that you said, and yes, this really does sum it up, actually. And the course is so gentle with us. Sometimes it doesn't seem like that because we got told what we're supposed to be thinking, and it doesn't agree, and we go through these stages. But right here is a wonderful, wonderful get out of jail key in a sense, because it does tell us, try to feel safety surrounding you, hovering over you and holding you up. Try to believe, however briefly. So it's giving us the credit for the fact that we make the choice, we open ourselves up, we don't try to fix, we just try to feel these things. And eventually, yes, it becomes more and more second nature, and then it becomes first nature, and then it becomes no nature at all. It just is. So I'm very grateful for whenever these kinds of helps are put in here. I don't know about anybody else, because it doesn't make you feel as though I'm missing the mark, I'm not doing it right. Just relax and just say thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you.
Yes, thank you, Ardith. And the other thing that really is loud and clear in this paragraph and in the lesson in general is that we are being asked actively to apply what we are being taught. Apply it in every way, with every person, in every direction. Susan, did you want to say something?
No, I was just trying to give you a thumbs up and I hit the wrong hand. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Megan?
I was going to say, I think that for me, the hardest thing to do is to keep telling myself that I need to be my own friend first. Because unless I'm my own friend, I can't, unless I support myself, unless I love myself, unless I, allow God in my life where I am now, then I can't look out on anybody as friends. So I think either way you go, whether you see other people as friends or you try to see yourself as a friend first, you still project it into the other sphere, which is I'm trying to break down the barrier and become my own friend, and doing so makes everybody I see become a friend as well. Thank you.
Put your own oxygen mask on first.
Yes, and then as you put it on, just feel oxygenated and at rest and safe. And yeah, just feel that friendliness that you want to have. And actually, this takes us directly towards the end of this lesson, which I'm going to now share with you. And I'd like to ask Peter to read us this last paragraph and kind of also comment on how this brings it all together.
I would be happy to. The short practice periods shall include a quick application of today's idea in this form. Whenever any thought of grievances or any thought of grievance arises against anyone physically present or not. Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. In addition, repeat the idea several times an hour in this form. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself by laying all my grievances aside and wakening in him. And so what this brings up for me is kind of what I always harp on. You know, who do you think you are? How do you see yourself? Are you the Holy Son of God himself, or are you something else? A body that's vulnerable, that's threatened at every moment. And this idea that by laying aside my grievances, I affirm that who I really am is invulnerable and is wholly innocent. And the Course says to teach is to demonstrate. And at every moment, we are demonstrating who we believe we are in every interaction with every person that we encounter. And so, and of course, there's only two choices, right? The choice between love and fear, between the right mind and the wrong mind. And so by laying my grievances aside, I reaffirm that I am as God created me. I am the Holy Son of God himself. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. I'd just like to, okay, I'm going to let Derek speak. Derek, you're up next.
Was Elysian ahead of me, or?
I think you just sneaked up ahead of him.
Quick draw. I just wanted to say that some of my grievances are just thoughts that pass through my mind, and they don't have a lot of energy. So I just might catch a thought of like, oh, that was a dumb idea. And when I remember to catch that one is not so hard to apply these thoughts that are at the end here. It's not so hard if I catch it to apply these thoughts and go, I want to let go of that judgment. That's, separating me. But there's a bunch of times throughout any given week where not only do I have a grievance, but I get emotionally triggered by something. And when I get, the word I'll use is triggered. When I get emotionally triggered, even when I remember to do this, I really do not want to do it. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that this seems like an easy exercise if we would just remember to do it and do it. But there's a lot of times where it is the last thing that I want to make them wrong. I want to stand by my values, whatever it is, whatever my ego position is. It is not an easy thing, at least for me, to do. So I just wanted to say that for myself, I guess.
Okay, thank you, Derek. I'm sure you've expressed that very beautifully for many of us. Elysian.
I just wanted to share on also this message, but A Course in Miracles in general. Now, having used A Course in Miracles as a tool, a reflection to remind myself of that which I am, that my relationship to the Course has changed, transitioned as if through the Holy Spirit's eyes, that there is no Course in Miracles. It's appearing right now, and I'm giving it all the meanings and that which is giving all the meanings is the separate doer, but that which I am is never threatened, and it doesn't even need the Course in Miracles. But yeah, it's a helpful for reflection, and also extending on grievances. So what I noticed when you spend more time just marinating, absorbing in the Holy Spirit and the truth of that which you are, the separate doer then learns of the preciousness of just allowing to be one with the Holy Spirit, that those thoughts no longer polarize or gravitate to those old ways of operating yourself in the world. And then the true grievance is then just losing time and connection of being in this blessed state. And that's the only grievance you do onto yourself. And you can only judge yourself and your ideas about the world. And the only loss is just that you get to spend time with a separate doer while you could spend time, with God. That is happening right now, appearing right now.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's true that we don't really need anything. And at the same time, because we are the dreamer of this dream, and collectively so, we decided to remind ourselves of what we need to do by bringing the Course in front of us. So that's the beauty of everything that's happening pretty much perfectly. Megan.
I wanted to thank Kevin for talking about wanting to go there. And I realized that recently I went on, was with family, and I wasn't feeling well. And so everybody got triggered, and I realized, should I stay where I was physically? I would give in to those feelings. So I think I finally hit a place where I said, I have no energy for this, nor do I want to put more energy into it. So I said, peace out. I gotta get out of here. And I needed to recenter myself. So thank you very much, because I think that while those things happen, where it's now getting to a point where I realize the amount of energy it takes to give into that amount of stuff is just not worth what I've been working towards. And I think all the work that I've been doing with the Course in Miracles and with these groups is to recenter my head and say, is this really where you want to be? Do you want to experience love, or do you want to experience this? And I realized, no, if this is where I'm tending to go, I need to remove myself and go somewhere else, and love is where I want to be.
Thank you, Megan. That's a perfect close for us here today. We are asked to resign as our own teachers and let the Holy Spirit be our only teacher, the only voice that we hear. I'm going to read some of the last part of this lesson that's been italicized in the course, because it's really all our prayer and conversation with the Holy Spirit. Love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself by laying all my grievances aside and wakening in Him. Thank you so much. Thank you, Father and brothers and sisters, for being here, for allowing us to gather here today in this beautiful holy space where we understood a little bit more, internalized a little bit more of who we truly are, as we continue to center ourselves in this peace, which is where we came from. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.